Okay, so it's live. So if I want to go the other way, can I go this way? So it only turns my head this way. Let me see. If I do this, let me see this. Hold on a second. Let me see. Okay, there you go. Now I take this. Okay. Now I'm seeing that way. I'm going to turn this around. And then what if I. No. Okay, but I want to be this way. Right? Let me see. Okay. So I want to be this way. I'm just looking. And I take that and I lock it. And then I go like this. Hold on. This. No, but I want to be the other way. So I want to be this way, yes. I'm just trying to set this up so I'm properly here. So I want to be this way. And then I want to lock the camera. And then I want to turn it this way. Wow, it won't let me. Just give me a second. I need to do this. I locked it here. I turned it here. Doesn't move, right? Let me see this. Yeah, okay, that's good. I'm just trying to fix my camera here. And I gotta lock it like this. And then I'm gonna turn it like that. There we go. There we go. Now it's working. I'm hoping it's working with you and it's not crooked. Okay, here it goes. I'm gonna try and see where we can begin. I wrote down a few things. I'm still writing. I did a video on. I don't like to really announce anything. In the past, I was saying, hey, they're going to look for people like this or like that, and it's a little conceited or narcissistic, right? But it wasn't people like that. It was the information, okay, that nobody ever shares, nobody ever listens to, nobody ever hears, nobody ever speaks about. Like, there's absolutely no meaning. Like, absolutely, or very little, a very, very less than 1%. So even in the 1%, the validity of the truth stands. Now I'm going to have to check my phone for a second to make sure this is all working. Here. I'm going to shut everything off for a second. Restart everything. It says that I've got a video math science alphabet that was started 5 minutes ago. Save to playlist, share. Okay, I'm going to share it, copy link, and let's see if I can find it somewhere else. But not here. Send it to myself in notes. Paste it, send it, open it, see if I'm playing. Paste it, send it, open it, see if I'm playing. So the thing is, if you're watching on your computer, I don't think you can turn your computer, so I think I'm going to switch it and see if I can get this straight, which I don't like. Right, and I don't like it that way, but okay, now that I got it working here, right, and I rarely just ever go to YouTube. So what I was talking about is like, who is really going to come here and what is there to see on my channel? What do I think? What have I been told? Now, since really nobody knows about what it is, I can bring it down to a young age for the children, for the younger people, right? although I always write in, this is not for younger people. It's for the new minds, to the mind that's just growing, to the mind that's just beginning to learn the alphabet A, B, C, D. No big deal. But when you start to design the ABCs on this paper, following rules, there are more than one rule. Okay, we're not going to work in curvature, but if we do work in curvature, we're going to be placing dots around the squares and connecting with straight lines. Either we're going to go around an area, and we're always going to follow the lines. The set rules is on the line. You can put a drawing line from corner to corner, right? So you can go 4 areas to close this in, and then one straight through here and one straight through here. So that's 4, 5, 6. But these, right, because of the angle they're on, they're going to get a different number than the other ones around it. So we're going to categorize that. And then every single box we can call a cell, and how many cells, what can you create with shapes. And through all of this, we're going to be getting numbers. Okay, coordinate area space numbers. A voided area space. How much voided area space can a 5-point star take up? So now we're going to start to understand what a 5-point star is, or a 6-point star. Are we going all the way around that hexagon 6-point star? How are we going to design the 6-point star? And I'm going to take a look. It's hard to do with the cameras up like that. So it seems like it's not working right now. Orientation is lock, rotate, device back. Okay, it seems like I started again. So let's see if I'm still working it here. And I'm going to check on my phone to see that this is still going. The thing is, if you're watching on your computer, I don't think you can turn your computer. So I think I'm going to switch it and see if I can get this straight, which I don't like. Okay, so we got that going right over here. So when we draw this star right over here, this 6-point star, that hexagon, look how much area space it has. Look how much space is left over. So no matter what, you're going to have 6 blocks, right? 6 walls, 2 points with 2 flat areas, 2 short flat areas, 2 longer flat areas. Can we create the 6-point star this way? How do we do this to create the 6? If we used up every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots, 2, 4, 6 lines, going through 1, 2, and on the side, not touching these 2. So we're only cutting a 4 block in half. You have to understand this shape. Now, if we come back to create a 6, right? And one of the ways I like to create the 6 is I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to get this down here, right? And, whoop, I got to put this down. This is not easy to do right now. But, okay, so we're going to, let me see if I can get this. Yeah. So what I'm going to do to imitate this, to create 6, what can I do to imitate, to create my 6? Can I go 1, 2, 3, 4? Should I be going 5, 6, right? Should I be doing that? Is that the way it should be, right? Or should I be doing this at the same time? And then out here and out here. You see this one? I should be going up here, and then I'm going to go out here, and then I'm going to cut down here, and I'm going to go out here, and I'm going to come down here. See, I already got that one here. Here, and my continuation is going to go here. My continuation is going to go here. My continuation over here. I have a continuation here, a continuation over here. So let me see if I got all these continuations. From here, I went 1, 2, 3. From here, I went 1, 2, 3, right? Not again. From here, I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have to go down here. So let's try this again. Let's do this again. Right? We're going to use only one area, right? And here's the way it goes. I'm going to go all the way through here, 1. All the way here, 2. All the way up here, 3. All the way here, 4. 5. So 1, 2. Yeah, I'm not sure when we broke off, but just to let you know, we're going to put this back over here. Not very happy. We're not smooth. We're going to go back to the hexagon and show you, right, that every one of these points Okay, if you're going outward or inward, 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, 4, 5. Down along here is 6. Down along here is 7. Down along here is 8. So there's 8 here, and there's 8 here. 8 over 8, and 8, and 8, and 8, and 8. The thing is, with this 8 over here, oh, I'm sorry, with this 8 over here and this 8 over here, I'm going to be going this way while this one goes this way. I'm going to be going down this way while this one goes this way. So maybe we should start this over and see how many actual dots there are to create one area. I take this and I go 1. I'm going to go up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I just did 8. Now I'm going to go up over here. Is that what this one is? 1, 2. I got to go to the third one. 1, 2. No, I got to go to this one here. And from this one here, I have to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? I'm just going to put that like that. 6, 7, 8. In creating that 8, you will see this area here gets joined. And it gets joined right over here. Now, this is a diamond, but the diamond is created by the crisscrossing, creating a halfway space, a space that does not exist. So can you use that as an 8 space, the same as the other area space that's joined? No, you cannot. You cannot possibly create a straight line out of thin air and guess, because there's no guessing. So I only can go here, 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 and here. So these become 4, and the other one becomes 8. The ring, the pole, to buy and to sell. Okay, these are all valued at 48. The word sun is valued at 48. ON is 29 and 19. Very important. This is where your creation comes together. 29, 39, 48. SON 48. Because of 1 and 2, Alpha or Mercury comes into Venus. Life comes at the 7th gate through 2 and 1.7 over here. I hope you can still see. I hope you can understand. I'm not seeing any comments. Let me see. I'm not seeing any comments right now. So first we're trying to understand this first basic star. So what I have is 8, right? And 8. And then over here, because of this area, right? The area over here, as you see, this line goes through here and this line goes through here, creates a meeting point. So I have, this is now encompassed by 4. So this is not really a real X, is it? Can you count this X as a fabrication through this star system and this star system coming together, creating X marks the spot? This is a star, this is an X, depending on how you want to look at this. Okay, so now that we've done this, right, this one and this one, we also have to note that when we're doing this hexagon reality, we're also drawing 1 together and 1 together over here. So the base, because it's so complicated and I'm not by a big desk right now, is we're going to go 6 by 8 equals to 48 minus the 1 line here. The back line here is 2. I think I have to minus 6. So it's 42 plus the voided 6 because you got to go backwards. I'm overlapping here, I'm overlapping here 1. I go up here 1, down here 1. And this is a short line compared to this, right? These are 4 different areas compared to these over here. 4 and 2, just like your bunny rabbit teeth. And when you show 4 times 2, 4 plus 2, creates an 8 and 6. It's a division of the 7th gate. So I'm going to turn this around and see if you're going to end up on me right now. Let me see if I can. I don't know why this is not standing. And I don't like that my head doesn't get in here. I just want to talk about some things back to the beginning. And I'm looking for some support for the channel. I'd like to have the good life, right? But I don't want to have the good life at any one real expense, right? I'm working for the, just like many of us. I'm not the only one out here, right? But I'm not talking. I can't talk for everybody. I believe if we can bring back the one real thing, as I started in a video before, is how do we learn about truth? How do we learn what stories are real and what are fake? How do we learn? Do we need to learn? I got other things to do. Do you want to learn? How much will it cost me to learn? How much time? Forget about the money. Here's all the money. Build yourself a system. If you can't join me, help out the channel. This system, I believe, when we put this together, it'll bring all humanity to learn what it is to understand what stories are fictive, what stories are false. They can even put it into the machine and write out the story, and the numeric value will come out, and through that numeric value you'll go through the gauge and know whether or not it's real or not. If I said number 19, would you say and or ET? But what if you don't know what 19 is, where it comes from, how it works in this world? That it's one of the repetitive repeats of time. How can I explain this? Trying to see if I can get this settled over here. Right, so number 19 is the letter S. The letter S brings in the number 1 and the number 9. But the thing about 19 for me is that it's got an extension to it. One of the extensions is when it's in French, you say 10-9. When it's in English, you say teen. So you know when the 1 and 9 come together, it comes together in the teen world. You know that 1 and 9 is A and I, and they are of two different worlds. One is from the 9 world, where the I comes from the 9th world, from the 8th heaven. And the 9 comes in when the birth comes in, born within the spirit. In the 9th house, there is no 1. In the 9th house, there is no 1. How do we create number 9? Right? Sorry. In the 11th house, there is no number 1. There is no number 1 in the 11th house. We start at 2-9 to come into the 11th house. So the birth starts in the house of Bait. How do we know this truth? How do we know this truth? This is where I stand. I stand in front of you today, asking you to work with me. I believe this will solve all the puzzles of all the truth inside religion. Believe as you wish, but finding the Lord and how we are fully connected. What is Mecca? What is the dark house? What is the dark horse? What is the black horse? What is the horse, the black horse, with the gold for the tail and the gold for the mane? I use games, things that have passed in front of us, to our rest in peace address, residency, born into the half-life. Saturn, the rat. The operator lands in the Zion of Israel. What is real? What is real? I say these words quick, as sometimes you say certain words and AI says, I don't like to hear that. But it's true. I-9, S-19. R-18. E5, A1, L12. Those are the positions of those letters in the alphabet, and that's what it says. That's where my truth is from. So you can see what story it tells with the numeric value, with the numbers to the alphabet. Also understanding many rules and regulations, mathematical rules and regulations. Usually it's all based on multiplication, addition, bringing the number close to and seeing what is missing. It's a very, very simple method of bringing everything together. There's just the rules and regulations and where you find the equations that do this work. So once we can bring the men and the women and the genders of their type all together to find the one thing they might be seeking, if the truth of what you are seeking is the truth, is where is God? Within our own IP address of birth, within our own, and it is proven that it is possible through the internet, that we have over 8 billion connections. There are 8 billion people, and I believe there's 8 billion internet connections on this planet, that there's a personal, and I'd like to know how many there are if there are not. So we have a personal connection with the IP. So that means realities can be set before us for every step we take. For within the ether from the sky we fall knows exactly where our body is at every period of time during the day. And with every step you take, that connection can take your last breath away. As it gave you life, it will lead you into the passage of the unknown. And this comes from numerology, and it's already been understood. What is it? The zodiac signs, the positions of the planets, the day, the hour, the minute you were born. Within the minute. If you were born at 35, it could have been into 36, it could have been into 34. The moment of the exiting and entering into the world. When your feet leave the womb of the mother, they now have contact into the biggest bubble, the biggest ocean they've ever seen on planet Earth. People are amazing. They actually are. Some are not. It just so happens we notice more of those who are not. We cannot see some of the most beautiful minds. I'm not talking to the ones who build, who create. Everybody has a trend of thought, and some of those trends of thoughts are amazing. Some of them we get to hear, and we are lucky to hear them, and some of them not. Some people are well praised and others are not. We have been distorted. So I bring to you, for the last 14 years on this channel and the last 20 years since the 5th day of the 5th month of 2005 when I was 41.5. In the 9th hour, 5 and 9 reverse EIEIO, born onto the farm, the splicing of the sun ray. The splicing of the sun. Where would I get this from? Where would I get this from? I may have to end this video. I think the pool guy is showing up. I'm not sure. Just give me a second. Either it's that or it's Doug's friend. Give me a minute. Okay, it's not. It's one of Doug's friends. Doug works in the basement talking to people like me. No, I'm only kidding. You know, when you dig, you're going to talk about the spade when you're digging. So things with the word dig or dug, you're going to be talking about the spade. And the reason you talk about the spade is because in the French terminology, and pic being belle, and pic being belle, a spade is a shovel, and in French it's a pick. So you're digging the hole, and everything comes from games. Everything comes from words, a translation between English and French, and a little bit of all the other languages of the world spread out, and how I hear them, how you hear them. We're all involved in this system. And I'd like to create, and if whoever'd like to join and help build this system where we can put all these, all these equations together to understand every single letter on how every single letter is made. So anyways, let me get back to, I was back on that there are 48 strands on a hexagon. On an octagon, okay, there is 8 times, there's 8 times 8 strands equals, there's 64 strands. Let me write this down. There are 64 strands. One of Doug's friends. Wow. There's 61 strands on an octagon. Minusing the strands, okay, that overlap each other. It's 64 minus 8 equals to 56 plus 8. You know, in all that time, they had enough time to steal my socks. Okay, so another thing about, okay, so just give me a second. Um, the operator is 0. 6 and 4 is 10. 1 plus 0. One person on the line connecting. 101 connecting two sides. 101 binary code is going to be 104 or 401, and 401 stands for communication 10-4 CB codes. The B, C, E, F world 5 and 11 creates the key. Where do I get this from? On the piano, there's no black keys between B and C and E and F, and I'm going to see if I can get some time to get to that a little bit later. I was slightly interrupted by someone giving me the evil eye for doing what I'm doing right now when they're not there. The other thing about the octagon, okay, that we would have to note, I just want to just do something here, is the beginning part of the inside of the octagon is going to get chiseled out like this. So when you run all your lines, you're going to be chiseling out a center area, and only these three and these two, right, do they ever get covered? Yes, they do. Everything gets covered. I'm just going to show you what it looks like after. Looks like that over here. So you get an extra 4 inside of here. This one, nothing can run from this one because there's nowhere to go from the center. So this one gets created by the creation of everything outside. Now, how many lines run through here? This line runs up and this line runs down. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 whole lines running through here. Then it's getting created through the crisscross. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines created through the crisscross. So you see it's like on the cross inside of that octagon. And then we're going to straighten out the octagon to put this page on this angle. See the angle of the page? See, like this, it's a multiplication. When it's on this angle, it's now an addition. So when you're splitting up the 4 areas, you split up a single cell over here. So now we have to start giving sizes to every single one of those cells, and then interior and exterior. There's also going to be another way that you're going to create this star system. The other thing to talk about is that every dot you do put down is going to create, in the basis of the knowledge, just in the basis of the knowledge, every dot will create 8. So if you have 8 around here, don't forget the area here also has an open voided area space. You have to count those also. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 by 8 is 32, and 8. So Pluto is the same number, 4 and 8, as well as the Sun, 1/3 and 2/3, equaling to a total of 12, 4 and 8. We want to talk about all the zodiac signs, perhaps. So we're going to go 4 times 8 and then 8 times 8. So we're going to go 4 by 8 equals to 32, and 8 by 8 equals to 64, which total is 96. But in reality, there's only 56, leaving 4 left over. If you follow me, I'm going to explain to you, right? And that's because the lines are overlapping each other. So there's many ways to continue to look at this. At the same time, when one box is cut in half, according to the game of roulette, it's going to be a 35-1. So you have to put 1 in the spot to get paid 35-1. I like to call that electric company connecting to the moon. Anyways, when I first began this video, right, I wanted to talk about 17, 18, 19, and different ways to understand these numbers. Is 17 10 plus 7? Is it 9 plus 8? The only real 19 you can have is 9 plus 1 plus 9 is a true 19, because there is nothing higher. But the reality sets in that 10 is a combination that comes in, and it is what is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 equaling what is 10. If you want to know what 20 is, just give me a second. 20, if you want, we can go 5 and 5 and 5 and 5, but that's something to discuss. And where this 20 comes from is that if I create a star over that hexagon, right? Let me just show you this over here. See that? See that? I create a star over these numbers. I'm going to cross through here 4 times in the star system. That'll be my 20. Take that 20 out, crisscrossing 3, 7, 1, 9, 4, 6, 2, 8, okay, equals to 40, plus 5 is your 45. So you'll have 3 stars, just let's say 3 of them, 3 X's here. It'll be 30, and then the 5. So it'll be 35, 35, 35, 35, equaling to 140, or 104, or 10-4, communication, CB codes, Roger Rabbit. October 4th, the 277th day of the year, Christ born into the house of Bait. Christ born into the house of Bait. 4040. So the thing about 17 is that when you're counting below 10, right, and you count 6, are we going to say 0, 6? I don't want to get into that. That's something I didn't have that plan. Just when you got 6, I like to go 6 is 1, 2, 3 combination, right? And 9 is DCB combination. 10 is ABCD combination, right? So you have 6, 9, or you have 10. The total of it all is 5, and that's the letter YB. If you want to use B reverse Y, the house of Bait. Where does this come into understanding? You use all of ABCD. 1, 2, 3, 4 equals to 10. Either use ABC equaling to 6 or BCD equaling to 9. Now, so what I wanted to mention, right, is right over here. 17, 18, 19. It's 10 plus 7, 10 minus 7. 10 plus 8, 10 minus 8. 10 plus 9, 10 minus 9. And then you continue on to the end of its result. I only multiplied that by the 10. When you hit 99, you're hitting Jupiter. When you hit Jupiter, the INR comes into the effect. When the INR comes into the effect, the 9, you're looking at the 432 vibration worlds. Why is that? Because between 5 and 1 is 432. 432 is also known as D, C, and B. So we're looking at 90 minutes, we're looking at 60 minutes, we're looking at our worlds has changed, and we're 1.3 times the difference of our worlds. But if you want to know what the real difference is, we're 2.5 off the heart of the world. 2.5. 1 plus 2.5, 6 minus 2.5, off from the actual area of the 7th gate. Not sure what those numbers are. It is the number of 25 years to life. That's what they say for jail terms. So when we use 17, we're going to talk about Mars, right? So when we talk about Q, we talk about Mars. We talk about blue. When we talk about number 19, we talk about the moon. We talk about the birth. We talk about AI bringing 2 worlds together. We talk about number 18. We talk about the sun. We also talk about the heavens of 1. 8 going around 1. How do we get all these things with, okay, and when you talk about the 8, you're also talking about what is 80, the quarter worlds. The reason for that is when you say anything in the 70s and anything in the 90s, you're going to say, in the 70s, you're going to use the number 10. In the 80s, you will not say the number 10. So you're talking about the base world, the division between just give me a second. ABCD is what makes up the 10, but here you're not making up the 10. So you're going to be talking about, I'm assuming 9 and 9 at the highest is when you do talk about the 10s. You're going to be, I'm just trying to understand it, because when you get into the 80s, right, you're going 4 times 20. When you're going into the 90s, right, you're going 4 times 20 plus 10. When you go into the 70s, you just go 10. You don't use, you just go like 60 and 10. In the 80s, it's 4 times 20. In the 90s, it's 4 times 20. So you're not bringing the 70s into the 90s, but you're bringing the 80s into the 90s. While in the 90s, you're also bringing what is the mirror world ABCD, which you're not bringing into the 80s. So you're bringing something into the 90s from the 80s, and um, something from the 70s into the 90s, and something from the 80s into the 90s, but you're not bringing from the 7 into the 8. It's different. The basis of everything is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But the before you get to the full base of anything, you have to start with 1 and 2, separating 1 and 2. You have to separate it 1 and 2, and then you're going to go 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then you're going to go 7, 8, and 9. And the reason for this is 1 and 2 comes together to create your 3 base. The 3, 4, 5, and 6 come together because you're going to go 13, 14, 15, 16, where you bring the teen world in. When you go 7, 8, and 9, what's happening is in French, they're exchanging this world, right? Hold on a second. I'm going to have to let the dogs out. Give me a minute. I'll let you out. I practically have to hide here. I think they're going to be mad at me after a few people don't like what I'm doing. I should be spending time with them, but when there's something to share, I have to share it. I have to share the truth. This has to get out there. This is, for me, this is knowledge that I never thought about in my life, and it's very interesting. It's almost like somebody building their own game, right? You can't put on any more strands than 8. If you do put on any more strands than 8, you'll be cutting in the 45-degree angle. You cut through the 45-degree angle, you ask yourself a question: how do you do it? How do you cut through these angles, and what is the story it's telling you as you cut through the cell? Another thing I was noticing is that when there's a shadow over the water, right, and you're making waves, you will not be able to see anything that's underneath you. But when you're not, when the sunlight's not coming from behind you, when the sunlight comes from the front, you cast no shadow underneath your raft, only behind you, but you don't see down or in front of you. When the sun's coming from the other side, it's casting the shadow forward. When you're moving the water, it's telling you a story. The water is moving, and you can see the energies of the water, that when I move my hands like this, right, it moves one way. When I move my hands like this, you can see the energies hitting each other and fusing together. When I spin it the other way, I can see the energies separating from each other and have a starting point. And then depending on how I move my hands in the water, you look down from the sunlight and you can see all these energies, and it's freaking amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. So I think I'm going to leave it now. I'm going to go into the house, although I'd really like to stay here a little bit longer, talk about, maybe I can, I'm not sure if I can turn this around, but we have 17, 18, 19, and we have 10. What is the value of 10 in French? What is the value of 10 in English, right? I just didn't write this down. 10 equals to the number 39. It's the introduction to the non-physical number, or base of 0. Your base 0, is equal to 64. Your base 0, right? That means 64 goes with blue. It goes with what is going to be the 24-hour day of the 10 creation, equaling to what is 34 and 14, and your communication. And this communication's going to end up showing up at the moon. That is going to be your T connection, your 48 and 20 connection. And I bring it up as your T connection. I'm going to see if I can explain this, if I can remember this at the same time, because we can't count to 100. You can't count to 100. You have to leave an area space that let's say you're eating something, right? Never eat half. Always eat less than half. You two people always eat less than half, leaving a certain amount left over, right? Let's call that whatever you want to call it. And now if you're 3 people, you always have to leave a certain amount left over so that they both have less than 1/3. So you're going to have, again, a certain amount left over. I don't know what you call that. Another thing is the spot of tea, the square in the apartment, um, the word seven, or right? I'm just trying to think. 1924 is 60 for French. In English, you have AI coming together. I think it's 58. In nine, in French, is neuf, and it means nuality. So, through the moon, AI bringing two worlds together. 19 AI bringing two worlds together, bringing birth together, coming into the ninth house. I and R, creating the house of bait. Don't forget, 99 inverts to 66. Do not forget that. Just like the Earth, right, as 52. Right? Earth is 52, can also be what is 55, and it's a sky pass, and 22 is for life. And ape, the continuation of ape is going to create a division between day and night. The 5 is going to create what is the sky pass, what is a cloud. Also at the same time, it's going to create electric company, uh, because of the mathematics. 5 times 5, 5 plus 5 equals to 10, and equals to 25. 25 and 10 is 35, and that's the center of a cube. The sun is also a divided sun. Matter and energy, the letters, the 13, 1, 3, and 5 come together, matter and energy. The M and E reverse would be N and V, like Nevada. Something to do in Nevada. And why I say that is, M is 13, E is 5, and in the game of pool, they make it perfect. They're both orange. They're both the orange ball. Orange is number 60, which is 5 by 12, equals to number 60. The elements, the memory, 512, 256. The elements and the zodiac sign, 12 by 5 is every 60 years, if I believe correctly. Every zodiac sign would have passed every element of the 5 elements, if I get that right. 19 is another number. 19 by 19 is 361. It moves 1 forward to 360 degrees, right? I think that's like 1%. I'm just trying to figure out what percentage of, anyways, let's leave that one out. Just a note before we end this video, thank you for joining me. If you can help out this channel, that would be greatly appreciated. I believe that once we learn the truth, and we learn the truth through what I believe is the games we play are fair, whether it's cards, blackjack, any casino game, any board game, just about something we can find from every aspect of life that tells us a story, etc. Knowing that the good Lord is with all of us, has never left us, and knowing that you and me have made the final decision and nobody else, until you and me get together and make choices for the goodness of everybody, unbiased choices, that we can understand that we can't choose for everybody, to understand that once we understand everything, it'll be easier for us to make choices of the truth. Peace and love. Thank you for watching this video. Ciao. How do you end this? Okay, I don't know how to end the video, so let me see here. Let me see. I'm just going to share it. Copy link. Wow, now my face is finally straight. So I don't know how to end the video. Oh, I think I ended here.